guys, can everyone hear me? Hi guys, can everyone hear me? Sorry about that. That was, I don't know. I don't know. Everything just scattered. Everything I had set up just did not work as expected. But yes, let us get right into this video. It's just, yeah, really sad that the previous link, I don't know if people are going to join. Yeah, that's just the thing. How do I? Yeah, I just saw your message, Sarah. Hi, Sarah. Thank you for joining me. Now I just need to maybe I'll tell my husband to just use my phone to share the new link to people, right? But anyway, thanks everyone that is here. My name is Remi. For people that are new here, I'm already a little bit flustered because of all the issues I ran into. So yes, permit my flustering. I may be flustered for like a little bit. So in today's video, I'll be making an Ankara flare top. I'm sure we already saw the picture on the thumbnail. So I'm using this lovely Ankara fabric that I have, and I cut out about less than 2 yards of fabric actually. Hi, Dr. Tolu. Oh, yes, I know. Hi, Dr. Tolu. Thank you for joining me. So I cut out about less than 2 yards of fabric actually. So 1 yard and 3/4 of a yard. So 1/3 of a yard, basically. And now it's actually very easy, very straightforward. So I'm just going to start. Let me see if we can get more people to join before I start, because some people may be on the other link. So
is there anything I can do to send the link to them?
can you help me bring my other phone, please? I'll use that to send the link. Thank you. So it's actually very easy, very straightforward. To start, I'll start by folding my fabric into like this. So I'm folding right sides together. I hope you guys can see. So I'll simply fold it into this way, right? And now I'll go ahead and just pin it down. Thank you. Yeah. Okay, I think more people are joining. So guys, please, if you are just joining, and you can let the other people know that the previous link isn't working again, and they should just go straight to the channel and join the live from there. So I folded my fabric in two. Now just go ahead and pin everything down, pin all my edges down so it can be uniform. I'm getting back in my zone, so I'm no longer as flustered. Yes. Hi Rosie Andre, thanks for joining me today. So I'm just going to fold my selvage, make sure everything aligns properly. And now once that is done, I'll go ahead and fold it like you're folding a triangle, right? Just fold it like this. And this is because we're cutting a flat top, remember? So I'm just going to bring it to the other side so you guys can see. You can either cut it this way or cut it this way, but I think I'll work this way as long as what I have here is enough. So yes, this is all folded. And now for this you need your shoulder measurements, basically the back of your neck from here to here. That's what it's called. Some people call it back, some people call it shoulder. So I'll just check where I want to start from and make sure I have enough, because I can't start from the tip here. Basically this place is too narrow, so you need to start from like a point around this side. Make sure you you have enough. So for me, my shoulder measurement is 7 inches. I'm not going to use the entire thing. This is just to serve as a guide. So now this is 7 inches, so that means I can take my measurement from here. So I'll try to draw a straight line from where I will take all my measurements, right? And now when I touch this, I could feel that they weren't exactly the same, so I'll go ahead and also pin the edges. So now that that is all sorted, don't be like me, guys. Always iron your clothes before you start sewing. But this was fresh, so I didn't do that anyway. So yes, what I have there is enough. So next, I need to measure my neck width. How wide do you want the neck to be? And for this top, I'm going with 3.5 inches. So I'm just going to mark that here. And now you need to decide how low you want it to be. I'll go with 3 inches. This is because it's going to be quite wide at the bottom. Because you guys know we've folded this like a triangle, so now I'll measure 2.5 inches, and that's because I don't want it to cover the full length of my shoulder. I just want it to cover a bit, basically just enough to cover my bra strap. So I'll measure 2.5 inches. That will be enough. And now you need to measure your armhole depth. The accepted calculation for this is bust divided by 6 plus 1.5, but I found that that doesn't always work, so I just usually approximate higher. So now I'll measure 8 inches from here, and the reason why I'm measuring 8 inches is because we're still going to go down here by 1 inch for the shoulder slope, because remember, our shoulder isn't like, our body isn't straight lines, you know, we have curves, we have edges and all of that. So I'm just going to connect this neck point now to the new points that we marked here. So you guys can see, I should get my ruler. You can use your hand, don't mind me, I'm just, yeah. So that's it. So now what we want to do is draw like our armhole curve. So for this, I'll go ahead, draw a straight line. And yes, I forgot to tell you guys, for this, I'm already cutting both the back and the front. So because we folded it in two and then folded it again, we have 4 layers of fabric here. So yes, we're cutting both the front and the back at the same time. So now I will go ahead and just rule a straight line. And remember, for our front armhole is always deeper than our back armhole. So I will draw 2 sets of armholes here, one for the front and one for the back. Now I will go in here at about this half midway point. If you have any questions, please ask. Yes, 7 inches is half of my shoulder measurement. Sarah, 7 inches is half of my shoulder measurement. So I will go in here now, this middle point that I marked here, I will go in by about 1/2 inch. So this is for the front armhole. For the back armhole, we're just going to, okay guys, I think I'm going to curve this in a bit. I will draw it as a slant instead, not as a straight line, because the way I'm looking at it, this place is going to be too wide. Yeah, so my bust measurement, it's not supposed to be tight, right? But we also don't want it to be too wide. But again, it depends on you. I personally don't want it to be too wide. I like skin fit things, which is why I'm curving this here instead of just drawing a straight line, because we already have a lot of fabric here. So because we cut on a triangle, right? So this is fine. Yeah, I prefer this. Now, yeah, I already made a lot of marks here, but basically you guys can see I'm working with this last line here. So the first line that's from my own end, the last line from you guys. Now I will measure the 1/2 inch that I measured there before and just measure it here. So now what we want to do is connect this point to this point here. So I'm just using a curve, so you can also use freehand for this. You don't have to, you can use your free hand and just curve it till you get something you're satisfied with. You guys can see. So this is going to be the front armhole, and the back armhole I will just make it slightly narrower. I hope it's clear what I'm doing. If it's not clear, ask any questions. I'll be looking at the screen so I can answer your questions. And now, like literally, that is all. So the last thing I'm just going to do is for the back. I don't want the back neckline to be this low. So for the back, I'm going to come down by 1 inch instead. So this will be the back neckline. So can you guys see? Just making sure what I have here is correct. So that's it. And now you can decide to just cut it all the way down or make it a little bit less flared if you want. And the next thing we just need to do is draw out our length. I hope you guys can see what I'm doing because I feel like there's a lot of chalk marks here because I adjusted some things here. So the next thing I'm going to do now is mark out my length. And when marking out your length, you want to mark from this straight line that we measured here because, I'm going to mark for my front. I want it to be about 19 inches, right? So I'll add 1 inch of sewing allowance to make it 20 inches. Now I will come here again and mark 20 inches because it's going to end up forming like a semicircle because here. And then, so you guys can see it's not straight. If you cut it straight, it's not going to look good at all. So that's it. Like that's literally all the cutting you need to do. But now when you're cutting the front, when you're cutting it out, you need to cut out the back first because remember we're working on both the front and the back at the same time. So you need to cut out the back first before you go ahead and cut out the front. So I'm just going to go in now to cut this out. So I didn't bother adding seam allowance because this is, like I said, it's very loose, right? So I'm not really worried about it fitting properly because it's a very free style. This can fit like up to 3 sizes. So now I'm going to remove the back and I can cut out my front. So I need to do some throwing here because there's like, if you guys can't hear me, leave a comment. I'm looking at the comments so I can speak louder. So guys, basically that is all for the cutting. You guys can see we have the front and the back. So the only difference between the front and the back is that the front armhole is slightly deeper and the front neckline is shorter than the back neckline rather is shorter than the front neckline. So now for this, you can decide to, make a little adjustment. If you're cutting yours at home, you can decide to make the back slightly longer than the front. But if you're doing that, then you need to cut it out separately. So you can't cut it together if you're going to have them on different lines. So you need to cut out the front and cut out the back. So the same principles, just like if you're cutting it one after the other, you don't need to fold your fabric in two like I did in the beginning. Just fold it like a rectangle, cut out the front, then fold it like a rectangle and cut out the back. So now the very last, almost the last thing we need to do now with the cutting is just to cut out our neckline facing or neckline bias. You can just use a bias if you want. I'm actually really tempted to just use this because yeah, these things make our life a lot easier. But for people that may want to cut out their bias and sell fabric, I'm just going to show you an easy way to do it. So, yeah. So I folded my fabric in two. Okay. And now for this, all you need to do is just go ahead and mark out your neckline. And now I'll measure 1 inch because that is the size of the facing that I want. So I'm just going to measure, or rather the size of the bias that I want. Measure 1 inch round. And just connect it, right? So this is it for the back, and I'll do the same thing for the front, and then go ahead and do the same thing. Okay, so for the shoulder, I'm going to use for the armhole rather, I'll use my bias tape. So I'll just use both for people that may want to use bias tape and people that may want to cut it out themselves. So you know, we can have examples using both. I'm just trying to manage this fabric. So for people that don't know, if you're in the UK, I have an Etsy store where you can purchase African prints if you're interested. So I think I actually still have this available on the store for people that may like this print. It's available by the yard. So you can go ahead and place your order, and it's free delivery. So now we'll do the same thing, just measure 1 inch round. So that is all the cutting we need to do. Now I'll put my fabric aside and we can start sewing. Okay. So we need to join right sides together for the neckline facing. You can also just join it and attach it, but I think it's easier to You can join it separately, but I think this is better. Join right sides together. Yeah, can you guys see? So it's just a very free, stylish top. I feel like this is what takes half my time when I'm sewing. I literally spend half of the time looking at the dress in the mirror before I even start sewing it. So good thing this is a live. I can't go away and yeah, start admiring myself in the mirror. So now go ahead and join your shoulder seams together. So I'm just going to use like a 1/4 inch because remember we didn't leave seam allowance for this, because if you like to sew with a lot of seam allowance, then by all means add your seam allowance, but I personally don't use a lot, and because it's a free top I didn't see the need to, you know, worry about that. Hi Diola. Now, oh my god, I feel like we're going to be done with this top in 10 minutes. Like, now I'll go ahead and sew it down. So when you're sewing, even if you have it pinned, make sure you remove your pin like before your needle hits it, because if not, your needle is going to get blunt and you need to change your needle quickly, and you know, it's money, guys. Don't waste your coins. Hi Chikadi, thanks for joining us. And thank you, I know, right? The fabric is very pretty. I have an Etsy store, like I said earlier, for people that may be interested. This fabric is still available, like actually just for yards. So if you want it, go and grab it. Or should we do a fabric giveaway? What do you guys think? Now I'll go ahead and sew the second shoulder seam. And we can also just join the sides at once. To go faster, but the machine starts making this ugly sound when you try to go too fast. So annoying. It's like keeping you in check. Not too fast, Remi, not too fast. So we're not just quiet. I'm actually working on my birthday dress. So my birthday is coming very soon, December 13th. I started working on a dress. I'm actually recording the process. So yeah, you guys should just be on the lookout. Turn on your post notification if you haven't, so you don't miss any of my videos, because I think this dress is going to be so pretty. This is the lower part of the dress here. No, we don't need a dart for this top because it's a very simple top. So it's a free top. And this is why it's like really beginner friendly. All you need to do is just cut a few lines and then sew. So this is what it's looking like right now. Like, it's pretty much ready. Can you guys see? I'm so tempted to wear it. I mean, who cares? I'll just wear it on the mannequin. So you guys can see. This mannequin is actually bigger than me, so I think because there's something here right now. So. Okay. So you guys can see, like, this is literally it. In fact, you can layer it under something like this if you want. So now all that is left is to finish the neckline, finish the armhole, and just finish the hem. So, okay. It's not very easy to turn, but let me just turn it so you guys can also see the back. So yeah, this is it, looking really good, and we're actually almost done. Okay, so the next step is to finish sew our facing. So just join your facing, right sides together. Yeah. Hi, Yewa. Hi, sis. Thanks for joining us. So our facing is done. Now we just need to go ahead and finish the neckline. And for this, simply sew right sides together. I'm just trying to figure out which one is the front and which one is the back. So since we are sewing right sides together, it's going to be this way. Now you need to join your seams, and I will just trim this off. We don't need the seam allowance on the inside. Okay. Go ahead and pin it down. Should probably be playing music here. Yes, you can do that, but if you join the bias separately before joining the shoulder seams, this place may be a bit bulky, right? So that's an option, joining it separately and then joining the shoulder seam, or joining them separately, like joining the front and back bias and joining, just like I'm doing now. So you can either join the front bias to the front pattern, join the back bias to the back pattern, and then, do everything, then join your front to your back. So that's an option. Now, I'll go in and sew this round, right sides together, don't forget, and just make sure to match your shoulder seams. So just take your time when you're sewing around the neckline. For beginners, this can be quite tricky. I don't know if I've told you guys a story about when I just started learning how to sew. And oh my god, one day I was trying to, I think I made like a flared skirt, and I was trying to hem the lower part of the skirt. I cried, like it was so difficult. I just kept loosening, and yeah, and I just look back now when I'm sewing all these things, when I'm hemming like the lower part of circles, and I'm like, yeah, growth is amazing, because there was a time when this was a struggle. So yes, just take your time, be patient, be gentle, and yeah, you'll figure it out. Hi Rashidat. Hi, first call design and craft. Yeah, you're a bit late, but don't worry, we're happy to have you. Thank you for joining. And this will be available for rewatch, right? So you can just go after the live, watch anything you've missed. But just stay with us, ask any questions, and yeah, I'll be more than happy to answer to the best of my abilities. So that's it. The neckline, with like the first step of the neckline finishing is almost done. So we just finished step one. Now another way to do this is you can sew from wrong side, actually, because I don't know if you guys have noticed, there are some dresses that the bias shows on the outside, or if you're having like a print and pattern and you want to accessorize the neckline, so you can do it from wrong side to right side. But because this one is the same print and I don't really need it, now I'll just go on and notch like my seams so it folds easily when we go on to fold it. So funny because when in my videos I always just fast forward all these bits, so now doing it, you know, live, it's just a bit strange. So the next thing you want to do is fold this in. You can go ahead and give this a good press, but yeah, I'm a bit lazy. Now fold it in nicely. Can you guys see? And just pin it down. If you're experienced, you don't need to pin it down. You can just go ahead, you know, like a bad man that you are, and just sew straight on. But yeah, for the sake of this tutorial, I'll just pin it down and just adjust it as necessary. So you guys can see it coming together nicely. Yeah, so that's it, all pinned down. Now we just need to take it to our sewing machine to finish it. So start from this point. like I said earlier, when you're sewing, even when you pin down, you want to avoid running your pin, like your sewing machine needle over the pin, because it's going to, it can break your needle, it can bend your needle. It's not just a good practice at all. It's not just good practice. You guys can see I'm like lifting it up, putting it down, because with circles you just need to be very clever and cunning. Yeah. We're done with the neckline, and now I'll go ahead and use the bias tape to finish the armhole. So this is what it looks like, and this is what we want. No puckering. Like when you take your time, it just comes out really nicely. So all I need to do is just iron this, and it's going to be so nice. And now I'll go ahead and finish the armhole. I'm going to cut about 18 inches of bias, or 19 to be on the safe side. I don't need up to that, but I like having extra. Now cut out the second one. So I'm using bias and neck, like the fabric, for people that may want to, you know, use any of the, like, either of each, like either the bias. Wait, is English so hard? Anyway, you guys get what I mean. Now for this, you can also pin it down, but I'm not going to do that because I don't really think that's necessary. So I'll make sure to leave a bit here because we're going to need to join this to the other part of the bias, right? So I'm not going to start sewing from the edge of the bias. I'll leave about half an inch, you know, just eyeball it, which is why I also cut excess. I think I'll try to play some music. This place is too quiet. This place is... My battery is low. Music. So I'm going to get a little story, right? Like, because I'm using bias now, I just remembered. So when I was making the upper part for this, like the upper part of this dress, I kept trying to cut out bias strips for the shoulder, like the shoulder straps, and honestly, like, it just wasn't coming out the way I liked it, and it was just annoying. And then I remembered, I'm like, wait, why am I trying to do this? I can just use, like, literally, I just saw this on the table. It was like a vision, and I'm like, wait, why am I trying to invent this thing? Like, I mean, I plan on getting a bias maker at some point, right? And to make it very easy and, you know, more professional. But right now that I don't have one, let me just use what has been made, you know. So sometimes just, yeah, the moral of this story is technology makes our lives easier, so we should embrace it. We don't have to always invent the wheel. I actually think we'll be done with this top in less than an hour because, yeah, it's just been about 50 minutes and I didn't even start immediately. I started streaming, so literally this is something you could do in an hour and be done with. So now I'll go in and just, yeah, sew the two like ends together to finish this bias. Can you guys see? Which is why I left extra here. If you didn't leave extra here, then this part will be very tricky. Hi Kim! Oh my god! Okay, I need to calm down. Do you guys know who Kim Dave is? Okay. I just saw a message and I'm like, oh my god, Kim is here. This is so amazing. Hi Kim, thanks for joining. Okay, now I'm flustered. You know, it's like having someone you look up to watching you do something like that. It's almost like in an exam hall, right? When your teacher comes next to you, you're like, don't look at what I'm writing. Oh my god. So, wait. Actually, I should have finished like I should have, what's the word now? Overlocked the insides of this before attaching the facing, the bias for the shoulder seam, but that's okay. So after doing this, I'll go ahead now and just trim this off, trim off the excess. We don't need that. And now you can also trim off the excess here, but I sewed with like really little sewing allowance, so I don't really need to worry about that. And just like we did for the neck, all you need to do is just fold this in. Now you see why it's like using a bias tape is so much easier. you don't have to start worrying about like folding it twice. You literally just fold it once and just go ahead and sew it down. So again, armhole is like a circle. Just take your time. Don't be too fast, and yeah, you get the hang of it. If you guys can hear the sirens, sorry, like there's a very big police station close to our house and also a very big hospital. So you're literally hearing sirens half the time, like ambulances, police sirens, it's a thing. So in case you're hearing that, they're not coming for me. It's just, they're just passing by. So the first armhole is done. We're going to move on and work on the second armhole. Oh my god, it's so cute. Okay, Remi, focus. No, where's the second one? Okay. So, yeah. Basically just the same thing we did for the first side. We'll repeat, rinse and repeat, rinse and repeat. I think sewing is actually very much about rinse and repeat. Once you know the principles, it's just, yeah, you just keep applying those principles to different styles, just keep trying. And you know, when I first started learning how to sew, my mom used to sew, right, but way before I was born, so she never sewed like for me. But she had a sewing machine in the house that was just there. It was basically an abandoned sewing machine. And when I started learning how to sew, I fixed the sewing machine. Well, not like I fixed it myself, you know. She got someone to fix it for me, and basically so I could practice. And I realized I learned like really quickly because I could practice. Like, yeah, I just kept trying out different things. I kept going on YouTube, trying out different things. And my mom used to get me fabric all the time. Like, my mom has a shop, so anytime she goes to the market, she buys fabric for me. Like, when she goes to get things for her shop, she'll get fabric for me. So I wasn't worried about spoiling material. Like, I would just sew. And then I had friends that trusted me. Like, they would just tell me to make things for them. So I think practicing really helped, because there were people that started learning like around the same time I started learning, and you know, I was basically doing more things because I was practicing. And yeah, so just practice is basically rinse and repeat. Once you know the principles, you just rinse and repeat. Yeah, another thing, something I learned really early is when you're sewing, cut all your threads. I know this might seem like, I mean, of course you cut all your threads, but trust me, when you finish sewing, you may forget to cut the thread you started sewing with, and it just adds up. Before you know it, like your work doesn't look so good. So just try to cut all your threads as you finish sewing. It makes it look good, honestly. Trust me. Okay, the second armhole is done. Now there are like 2 steps left, or 1 step depending on you. So I need to overlock the inner edges of this dress, and you guys might just got my overlocker, right? So any, like, basically any reason to use it, I'm so excited, I'm so eager, to use it. So once we overlock the inner edges, we can finish the hem, and that's it. Yeah. So normally if you guys were here at this point, I'll literally go and test this. See, I can test, like I'm always doing testing. Spend half the time sewing, testing. So I should have done this before sewing the armhole actually, but I forgot because now I won't be able to get to the very end, but that's fine. Can you hear that? Feels so good. You guys should see. So good. Okay, done with this. Now, all we have to do left is finish the lower edge. So for this, you can go ahead and pin it down if you know you are new. Another way to finish this is you can just overlock the edge, so you just need to sew it once. That's like easier for beginners. I'm just trying to see if my thread will be enough. Well, there's only one way to know. Start. So I'll fold it twice and just carry on. The Lord is my strength. So what I realized is the trick to sewing like lower circle hems is you have to anticipate. So you cannot wait and get to this edge before you start folding in. Like you literally have to anticipate and plan ahead before you get to that point. Otherwise, it's to do like film. The whole thing will just not work out. My fabric has gotten stuck in between my feet. Okay, what's happening? doing nothing. Oh, this is so annoying. I hate it when this happens. I should have just refilled it. Anyway, we'll go ahead and do that now. And it's so weird. It's like whenever the lower part, the lower thread finishes, the thread on the bobbin, sewing is so much easier and sweeter. Like, you can literally sew. You will sew for like 10 minutes before you realize, oh wait, like there's nothing yet. Okay, time to continue. These two edges are not exactly the same. There's like a slight difference, so I'm just gonna trim it away. I'm literally very tiny, but just to make it easy for me to sew. So we're done with one part, like the front rather. I'm done hemming finishing the hemming the bottom. Basically, you guys get for the front. So just started the back. I think for the next one, we should probably do a circle skirt. That's another beginner friendly piece. I know what we're going to do in the next one. that's it, guys. Like, that is it. And in less than an hour 30 minutes, in like an hour 10 minutes, we've made a top, a very nice trendy top. I'm just going to look for the other part, because remember what I said, don't forget to trim your thread. So now you can go ahead and press this if you are patient and not like me, but I'm just going to wear it on this phone so you guys can see. Yeah, it's not laying properly. This body phone can be weird sometimes. But anyway, here it is, guys. I don't know why this place. I'll wear it on my body and see if anything needs to be adjusted, but I don't think so. This form can be a hassle sometimes. But yeah, here is the final result. And if this place needs to be adjusted, you can just hold it down. If you know, after wearing it on your body, you feel like it needs to be adjusted, you can just loosen out the bias here, hold it down, and you know, yeah, that will be all. So let me know what you guys think. Let me know in the comment section. And actually, I think you can also layer this, like wear things underneath, because it's quite cold in the UK right now. So this can be another way to wear it, like just wear a turtleneck underneath, and yeah, just a way to spice up your dressing instead of just looking, you know, plain and drab. So what do you guys think? Let me know what you guys think in the comment section, or you can just type here. And if you guys would like us to, hi Asisat, hi, thank you for joining me. And if you guys would like us to, you know, do this more often, then just let me know, leave comments, reach out to me on Instagram. You guys know my handles, at Remi Junaid. And you know, I think this could be a monthly thing. I definitely enjoyed it, and you know, I'm able to sew at once because I have you guys watching me, so I can't, you know, go to the bathroom and test this every single time. So that's a good thing. Oh, thank you, Rosie. Thank you, Rashida. So I think this live has gone on for long enough, 79 minutes, which is an hour 20 minutes. So thank you for joining me. I love you guys. Thank you. Have an amazing day and have a great week ahead. Bye. Bye.